Magic in the Morning, torn from Natalie Imbruglia. 8:36 our time. Mike Barrett in the studio. We mentioned good policies. We do it weekly. Mike, good morning.
Good morning.
Imbruglia with a G. I always used to say the G.
Imbruglia.
Imbruglia.
Yeah, no. It's
Anyway,
Imbruglia.
way cool videos still today.
Yeah.
All right, so Mike.
Wishing I was there. Anyway. Wait a minute. That was one of her other songs. Never mind.
You are here. Mike, very involved with the community, politics in his hometown, the school board.
Oh, no, I'm not on the school board.
No, not anymore. Oh, select board anyway.
Select board, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But also very deeply involved with the Northeast Kingdom Cancer Action Network. And we're going to sidestep the insurance world for just a little bit here, because we have had some absolutely amazing community support here over the past couple of events to help raise money for NEKCAN.
Yeah.
One of those was last week, and the other one was
May 21st.
All right, so a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And a cornhole, I never knew what that was till about 5 years ago.
Right.
And there's a tournament that was held at the I still call it the Fenton W. Chester Ice Arena.
So formal.
Up here on the campus of Linden Institute. The cornhole tournament went on, and we finally got the tally on this.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say it standing up. I'm just so shocked. Last year, Derek Garand, who lost his wife, Jen Garand, to cancer way too young, a few years ago, decided to create an event in her memory. It's called the Garand Strong Tournament, or Cornhole Tournament. They had it at a different location last year, did very well, raised about $4,000. This year at the Fenton W. Chester Ice Arena, they raised, and they presented a check to us last week, $14,000.
Are you kidding me?
$14,000.
I found out the same time the listeners did. You told me last week it was somewhere around 10 grand, but 14,000.
We knew it was north of 10, but it was 14. The check that was received was $14,000. I had the honor of taking it to the bank and depositing it, and the amount of people that we are going to be able to assist in their battle with cancer with those funds from everybody who participated in the Garand Strong Tournament. Big thanks to Derek. Big thanks to John. Big group of people who put this on. Just awesome community support. So thank you for that.
That is so dang moving.
Yeah.
Oh, my. You can see it.
Oh, yeah.
No, that is absolutely wicked. And then we had another one. And I joked with Josh about this a couple of days in advance. He never still got the joke. But Josh is a medium, and he was at the Art Port.
Yes, at the Catamount Art Port at the mall. Yes. And he did a 2-hour show. We had great attendance. We were very pleased, and we raised just around $3,000, which was another huge boost to our efforts to support the community and those who are fighting cancer. So.
I think that's absolutely awesome, because this is only in its second year.
Not even.
Yeah. Rolling into its second year here. And folks, if you don't understand what NEKCAN, the Northeast Kingdom Cancer Action Network, does, there are tens of people.
20 plus now, well over 20.
So we're into score plus of people that are receiving monthly stipend checks for transportation costs. This is not payback money, and this is all raised locally. $14,000 pitching beanbags. That is
and bidding on auction items. They had auction items and different things.
Still.
They just added so many components. It was so well done. And the Fenton Chester Arena, I tell you, it's a great multi-use facility. So I was very excited to see it being used for that too. So,
that is so cool.
A lot warmer in there when they're doing that than it is with the hockey. So
the only time I ever used to be in there, except for when we used to have the summer dances on the weekends, was ice skating. So
there you go.
Now, folks, you can make a contribution to the NEK Cancer Action Network anytime that you want. You can do it through social media or the website.
Yeah, nekcan.org. All the details. We have a car show coming up next month. Very excited about that one. Details are on the website. If you are a car enthusiast or have a car that you show, go check it out. Should be a very fun time. Proceeds going to NEKCAN.
The pictures from last year's show were amazing. They were blown away the day of the event when they nearly doubled or tripled the turnout.
Yeah, they had no expectations, and they were blown away. So it was fantastic.
All right. So NEKCAN, that's what you want to connect with if you want to help locals in the community in their fight with cancer. So Wes and I talk about this, your partner with NEKCAN.
Right.
And our Thursday morning guest with Car Care. We've been talking an awful lot about young drivers lately, and I don't know if it's just me or not, but the kids out there are getting much better cars. But
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Than we did as kids. When we were
1985 multicolored Nissan Sentra that had the whole exhaust to the manifold drop out on day 3 of ownership and the clutch go a month after, and I still love that car.
Yeah, the world has changed a bit since then, and kids are starting to actually get their licenses pretty much as soon as they possibly can now. We got to remind our parents and caregivers out there, they got to stay on top of insurance needs.
Yeah, so a couple things to think about, and this is just really a quick hit this morning, but youthful operators, now, when your child gets their permit, you really aren't going to see an impact on your insurance because they're a permitted operator. But it's still important to provide your carrier with their full name, date of birth, and permit number. And I'm pretty sure in Vermont, the permit number, which is 8 characters, stays the same when it becomes your license. I'm not positive. I'd have to double check. But anyway, good for us to have that. But it's not something that's going to adversely impact your policy. Not until they get their license.
I just want to inject a little bit of humor here. Any parent that doesn't raise their property damage insurance and liability coverage when their kids start driving, they're not doing it right. That's just a little humor.
But I always tell people, my dad got into the insurance industry and from banking back in 1988. I turned 16 in 1991. So he had just enough time to learn how to handle me as this little young guy getting his license. It was expensive then, and it's expensive today. But I think people have a misconception or a preconceived notion of just how expensive it is. It's certainly going to be more than it is for you or I. But depending on the company that you're with, you could find even full coverage on a newer model vehicle, reasonable pricing. So it's about just being prepared, but don't jump into it head first and say we're getting, our child a car that's going to require a bank loan and full coverage until you know what the cost is going to be. So good thing to do is just shop it or check with your carrier and say, here's what I'm considering, rather than getting the sticker shock. And don't forget, in Vermont, driver's ed's a requirement. So there's going to be driver education credits that are available for the youthful operator. If they're good student eligible, make sure you're applying for that. It's not a huge take on that. You got to have a B plus or something. It's a very simple metric to make for many, many kids in school. Make sure you take advantage if they have telematic devices with a company that you were insured with. Use them because you're going to get immediate credit for that. Plus, if they're driving well, they're going to realize even further savings, up to 10 or 20% for that driver.
Now, you're talking about that little device that plugs into the OBD2 connector that
was kind of the original way, yeah.
Yeah, monitors the speed of the vehicle, the braking rate, the rate of acceleration, the G-forces on a corner. Very technical
time of day on the road, length of duration of travel. There's a couple of metrics that they monitor. Now, you're right. It used to plug into the diagnostic port of a car, and they still have them that do, but more companies have gone to the app-enabled version, so it's built into your phone. And then the first thing you go is, well, what if my child is riding with me or riding with a friend? Well, they do allow you to say, well, that wasn't me, within reason, of course. But, so it's something to think about. But there are opportunities. It's all about having a discussion with your agent and saying, look, they're getting their license. I'm a little worried. What can I do? What should I do? Should they be on their own? Should I just add them as an occasional operator in my policy? And the most crucial part of this, and I cannot stress this enough, I'm going to use somebody as an example that has a nice car that's a seasonal vehicle, all right? So maybe you have 2 regular daily drivers and maybe a sports car for seasonal. And there's mom and dad are the operators. You have 3 cars and mom and dad. Now you're adding your son or daughter. There's 3 cars, 3 drivers. Guess what? Everyone's getting assigned a vehicle. Even though we all know they're never driving the sports car with your knowledge anyway. But something to think about is that you may have to work on options on how to mitigate your expense by going forward with that. So just something to think about.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off just popped into my mind, not just because of the Porsche 928, but the fact. Anyway,
yeah. No, I can feel his pain right now, actually.
So in all honesty, any parent out there that has a student getting ready to get their driver's license, this didn't creep up on them because you can remember when you were 15 years old, and it's like, come on, Mom, Dad, when can I take driver's ed? Mom, Dad, when can you teach me how to drive? Right. So they've got time to do this.
They do. And there's something that I've heard multiple occasions from multiple people that they've been told by multiple agents supposedly. The thought that you never need to add your child unless they get an accident or a motor vehicle violation is completely false. They have to be added the day that they are licensed. Think about it. If they got into an accident, the company could say, well, we're going to pay the claim, but we're deducting the amount of money you would have owed us for listing them day one of them having a license. So,
all right, get your questions answered with your insurance agent. If you'd like to talk with Mike about it,
748-5224. Find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agents.
And support Northeast Kingdom.
NEKCAN.org. Check it out.
Cancer Action Network.
Yes.
Right now, music from Ayaz on Magic.